Hello everyone, welcome to the series of videos on web programming basics. In previous video, we learned about CSS box model. So there were three or four important things. There was content, the actual content box, and then there was border around the content, and then two types of spaces are the we can say the padding space box and the margin space box. In this video, we will continue working with the borders. So we will explore more on the borders. So, and then we will utilize borders to say we can create quotes, and then we will use borders also to see how we can create a bootstrap badges. So let's move to the code. So this is the previous code that we worked for the box model. So in this video, we will just start working with the border here. So first of all, let's remove these additional boxes from here. Okay, so now we can play with these boxes, and moreover also let's put some padding around the body so that we can easily visualize the boxes. So we can set the padding to, let's say, 10 pixels around the border, around the body. So let's refresh this. Now we have this box only. We can also work with the borders individually. So we can actually set individual sides of the border. So let's say we have three things. So first of all, we have this width of the border. Let's magnify this so we can see this. So actually we have three things related to the border. The first one that we see here is the width of the border. Then there is the style of the border, and then finally we have the color of the border. So actually we can also set these properties individually. So let's say we can write the same line similarly like this. So now we have border width of 5 pixels, and then border style of solid, and finally the border color. Let's set this time the border color to green, so then actually we can see the effect. Now we can actually safely remove this line here. Now just let's refresh our page. Now we can see that we have actually set border with individual properties like the border style, border color, and border width. There is actually more. We can also set individual sides of the border also. So let's say previously, let's bring the previous line here, and then we need to remove this also. So currently what is happening, this border is for all the sides, but we can actually set individual sides. Let's say we want to set the border from the left side. So now this only applies for the border to the left side. So if we refresh the page, so now we see the border applies only to the left side. Similarly, we can also set the border for the other sides. Let's say a border bottom. So let's say we want to set the green color and then dotted line, and then let's make it 10 pixels. So if we refresh the page, now at the bottom we have the border here. that is the dotted border of 10 pixels. One important thing is that we need to provide these three values, and the order is actually not important here. So let's add one more border. So we can also add the border for the right side. Now this time let's set the border to color, okay, we will pick the gold. And then for the styles, let's say double lines, and then of 5 pixel. So now we have set the border for the right side. So now we see there is a double line here for the border. Finally, we can also set for border for the um, top. I think top is remaining, so let's set the top border to say gray color, and then 10 pixels, and then let's say solid again. So now we have the border for the top side also. So we have set the border for the individual sides. Lastly, there is also possibility of setting the each side of the border with each property individually. So actually we can let's say we want to retain the left border, and then we want to remove this. So now we only have this border left here. Refresh. Now we can set the three properties for the border left properties individually also. So the above line can be written separately with these three lines. So border left, let's say color. So let's say we want to color green, and then border left width. Let's set width of 20 pixels here, and then border left style of solid. Now we can remove the above line here, and let's refresh the page. Now we have this border for the left side, and then we actually have set border for the left, but each individual property is set separately here. So I think that's enough for the border properties. Now we can actually move to the sides of the border. So let's bring this border property only for one. So let's say it's no, we'll go for the red, 5 pixels, and then solid. So we have this border now. Now we want to move to the borders radius property. Now we see here for the border here, we have these edges here. Now we can make these edges rounded with the border radius property. So let's experiment with this. Now for the box, we want to set the border double R, so border radius property here, and for the border radius property, let's set it to 10 pixels here. So now we see that our border is something like rounded border. So this border radius property sets the corners of the border into the round. So this is actually the 10 pixels value. One more thing, we also can set each side of the border radius property separately. So for example, if we want to set only one side of the property. So let's say uh, border top uh, border top left radius here. So let's set it 10 pixels here. So we are setting only one side of the property of the border radius, that is the from the top to left side. So actually this side here. So let's save this and refresh the page. Now we only have one border radius property here, that is the top left, and all the remaining sides of the border are as they were previously. So we can also set this property here. For example, we can also target the bottom right border radius property. So let's move to the border bottom right property, and let's set it 10 pixel again. Now if we refresh, now we only have two sides of the border radius property set here. One more thing, we can also provide two values for the vertical and horizontal of the border. So if we provide the second value, you will see the effect like the border is different from the above border, because now we have provided two vertical and horizontal properties. So that's enough for the border radius properties. So similarly, we can set each side of the border radius property for each side. Now let's play more with the borders. So one use of the border we can see here is for the quoted text. So let's remove this div here, and now we only have one paragraph here. So let's say we have the default text here, and I think this does not apply here, so we can remove this CSS. So now we don't have any CSS here, we only have this paragraph here. So let's make this paragraph into a quotation form that we only see on the web. So for this we can actually define a class like what, and let's go with the bootstrap way. So we can have the quotation for the success type. So this should be the green, because success is mostly indicated with the green, so we will use the green thing. So first of all we will set the border property, but only for the border of left side. So let's set it to green, and then 20 pixels here, and then solid. So now if we refresh the page, before refreshing the page, let's apply this class property to this paragraph. So we will set this class attribute to for success. So now this style should be applied to this paragraph here. Now let's refresh this. I think there is a problem here. So what's that? Success, what, what? Uh, let's diagnose the problem here. So let's say in the background color here, pick any value here. So now we are just debugging why it's not applying here. Actually it's applying here, but we don't see the border in here. Don't know why. But if we increase the border value here, okay, so actually the spell of solid is misspelled here, so that's why we don't see any borders here. So let's correct the spelling here. So this is the solid. Now we can safely remove this background, and now we have this border here. So now we can actually go to the smallest border. Now we have this border, but let's add some padding so it displays nicely. Padding from the left of 10 pixels. So now we have some paragraph rendered as a quotation mark, as a quote actually, not quotation mark. We can also add some border around it so that it changes. Let's first add some background here so we can play with the background color, and let's say green shallow, but I think we should select some light color here. So yeah, this is light color. So now we have this green background and with solid green border here. We can also set the style. So now just we want to remove the background here, and then we can add the border to all sides. So we need to place the border, and then let's say 1 pixel green, and then solid again. So now if we refresh, we missed the semicolon. So okay, now we have this nicely looking quote here. We can also add some padding around all sides. So let's add some more padding of 5 pixels for all sides, and then we have the padding of 10 pixels from the left side. So now we have this nice looking quotation marks for the success. Similarly, we can copy this, and then we can define the style for the danger style. So in Bootstrap, the danger color is actually red. So let's set this to red color, and also red for the left border side. And let's add some paragraph here. And for this, the class we want to set danger. So if we refresh the page, so now we have another paragraph for the danger style, or the say red style. We can also have the warning style of the Bootstrap, so we can just copy this thing, and then just set the color to yellow. Now let's add one more paragraph here. So let's copy this paragraph down below, and then we can set this to did we rename the, so let's rename this class first. So rename this to warning, and now we can assign the class of warning here. The warning applied here. Now we have this yellow looking style for the warning also. We can mess around with the colors to suit our requirement, but this is just the idea of how we can use the borders to render the text nicely. I think now we can go to lastly for the badge style of Bootstrap. So let's remove these all paragraphs, and now we want to just play around with the border radius properties and background colors to actually mimic the Bootstrap things or Bootstrap controls. So Bootstrap has this badge style or the badge control here. So we can, let's say, define the badge property for, let's say, success. So now we have this class of badge of success, and then we want to actually mimic the Bootstrap style badges here. So what badges is we can actually see. First off, let's set the background color to green. So now we have the green background color, and then let's set the color property to white so that the text displays in white color. So let's again add the now we add the spawn element with class badge success. Let's say we have the badge of success here. So if we save and refresh the page, so we have the badge of success, but we can actually format it. So let's add some padding here so that it displays nicely. So we can actually add the padding of, let's say, 5 pixels. Now if we refresh the page, so now we have some space between the border and the text. Let's make the edge is rounded, so we will use the border radius property, and let's make the border radius to 8 pixels. Okay, so now we have something looking to the Bootstrap badge here actually. Similarly, if once we have this badge of success, we can define badge for the danger class and badge for the warning class. So we have copied this 2 times. Let's make this to badge danger, and for this we will set the color to red. And finally for the warning we can, let's say, the color to gold here. So now we have 3 classes for the badges, success, danger and warning, with different colors actually. And let's copy this 2 times. Now let's set this to danger, and then finally this to warning. So now we have 3 types of badges here actually, a badge of danger and badge of yellow. Of course, these colors don't match exactly with something like Bootstrap colors, but of course we can change. But the idea is like we are getting closer to how the Bootstrap defines its badges. We can also move further. So for example, we can also make these badges into rounded pills. So Bootstrap has one more class, like let's make this rounded fill. So what we can do actually here is we can actually set the border radius property to some more value so that these badges are displayed around it. So let's add the border radius property here, and for the border radius let's set to 20 pixels here. Now we have defined a class rounded pill, and this just adds the property of border radius. So if we, let's say, add this class to the badge success, so now we make the spawn to also belong to this rounded pill class. Now actually this is belonging to two classes, badge success and badge pill also. So what will happen, this badge pill class will make it rounded. So let's see the effect. So now if we refresh the page, now we can see that this has changed to a pill here. If this is not looking nicely, so we can also increase the padding property here. So let's add the padding of 10 pixels to see how it looks. So I think now it looks better because there is a space between the text and the border. So this is how we can actually get closer to the bootstrap things. I think that's quite enough for the border things and CSS. So now we can close. Okay, so I think that's it for the border. So we used various styles, various ways how to add border to the elements, and then we saw how to actually make the bootstrap things by with playing with the border and border radius properties. So as always, if this video was helpful, you can always comment how do you like this video. You can also provide your feedback to improve the videos, and then of course to motivate me to add more videos, please like and subscribe this channel, and keep watching the videos. Thank you.